computer's making weird noise. All right, we're going to get started with part 3 of lesson 4. We're going to learn how to initialize and use our variables finally. Now, by the way, variables are very complicated. There's a lot of notes and stuff that go into it, but the hope is that you actually learn this variable stuff. All right, so here's the deal. We're trying to animate our crab. We want images to make him go, make it look like he's walking, except for the problem is image 1 is null, image 2 is null. There's nothing in the boxes. There's nothing we can use there yet. So we're going to try to fill these empty boxes so that we can eventually animate our crab. All right, get out your handouts because there's that sissy blue color. All right, we want to fill our empty boxes so that we can animate our crab. All right, so fill this in on your handouts. An assignment is a statement that enables us to store something into a variable. This is how we put stuff in the box. So you say the name of the variable. What is this called? This is the assignment operator. And then you put what you want to put into the box or the variable. Okay, that's how we do it. Write that down. All right, so here's how we're going to do it. This is the code. We're not typing this code in yet, but this is the code we're going to use. Okay, so we're going to say image1, our empty box, equals a brand new Greenfoot image crab.png. So we're going to start up our Java factory. We're going to say, hey, let's look at the Greenfoot image blueprint and make another one of those robots. And this particular one is going to be holding an image called crab.png. Okay, that's how we're going to do it. An assignment statement assigns an object or a value to a variable. Write that down. Okay, here's examples. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say image1 equals new Greenfoot image crab.png. That's we're assigning an object. This is like this Greenfoot image guy is like a robot. This is more simple. We can just assign a value. We could say x equals 5, or we could assign a Boolean value, nice equals true. So there's different ways that we can assign things to boxes. Now, check this out. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, okay. So whenever we say image1 equals new Greenfoot image crab.png, so that's an object. This box, by the way, is kind of small, and that object's a whole big old robot, and he can't really fit in the box. And the other thing is we might have other boxes that he lives in, right? And so if we're going to have him live in multiple boxes, if we chop him up to put him in those boxes, then he's dead. So we don't chop him up and put him in multiple boxes. He's too big to fit in the box anyway. So what he kind of lives over here by himself in the RAM, and we just draw an arrow to the box. Like we pretend like he's in the box. It works like he's in the box. When we say image1, we're talking to him, but he doesn't actually live in the box. It's a reference to him, okay? So it's a reference to the object. Now, if it's something simple like x equals 5, the 5 actually lives in the box, okay? So 2 different ways of doing it. Okay, so here's the code we're going to use. Image1 equals new Greenfoot image, holding the crab picture. Image2 equals new Greenfoot image, holding the second crab image, okay? All right, get out your handout for this one. Okay, so with this code, we will have 3 objects. We have the crab that's actually in the world that we can see, and we have 2 objects that are living in the RAM that we can't really see. It's those little robots that are holding these images. We're going to talk to them and use them, but we really can't. We can see what they do, but we can't see them. The crab has 2 variables that contain references to the image objects, right? So image1 and image2, there's references to these guys. When an object, write this down, when an object is assigned to a variable, the variable contains a reference to that object. It's just a reference to it. When a value is assigned to a variable, like a number, we actually stick the value in the box. And then write that down and then answer this question, what is the box really? And I don't know if I told you this. The box is basically just a space, like a little space in the RAM chip in the computer. So it's like a little space that holds 1s and 0s, and those 1s and 0s make up our numbers and objects. Okay, so remember it's like this. An object doesn't really live in the box. It's just like an arrow pointing to it. The values, like true, false, or numbers, actually live in the box because they're super simple and they'll fit. All right, let's keep going. Where should we put the code? Okay, so we have this code that we're going to initialize our variables. We're going to stick something into our empty boxes. We're going to initialize it. Where should it go? Okay, write that down. Where do you think this code should go? With the thought that how many times do we need to stick something into that empty box? Well, probably once. Do we want to have it happen over and over again? No. Do we want to have it happen like halfway, like 15 minutes after we start our game? No. We want to have it start right at the beginning. Okay. All right. I just took like a 20-minute break, so I have no idea what I was talking about. But where should we put this code? Oh yeah, it needs to happen one time, right at the beginning. Where should we put it? Write it down in your notes where you think it should go. All right. Should we put it in the act method of the crab? No, because the act method runs over and over. We don't need to say, stick something in that box, stick something in the box, stick it in the box, stick it in the box, stick it in the box. No, it's all right. We just need to do it one time. Should we put it in the constructor of the crab world? Well, it would kind of make sense because it happens one time right at the beginning. But we're not trying to build the crab world. We're trying to build the crab. So we need to put it in the constructor of the crabs class. We need to put it in the crabs constructor. The problem is crab doesn't have a constructor. Okay, so that's where it needs to go. So what we're going to do is, so here's the code, but check this out. Don't type this code in yet, but check this out. So this is stuff already exists, right? And so right after, wait, what is this? Don't write this. Don't put this in there. Okay, so here's the code that we're eventually going to write. Now notice, look, right here is we said public crab, and then that's where we put the code. Okay, so we're not doing it yet. We're not typing the code yet, but we're going to create a constructor and then put the code in there. The code in the constructor is executed one time when the actor is first created. It initializes two instance variables, which means it's sticking something in image 1 and image 2 for the first time. They're empty, and we're sticking something into them for the first time. It creates two Greenfoot image objects and sticks a reference to them in the box. Okay, so put this down in your handouts. The signature of the actor constructor does not include a return type. Okay, no void or Boolean or int. It's blank, public crab. The name of the constructor is the same as a class. Same. The constructor is automatically executed one time when the crab object is created. So this method, everything between here and here, runs one time right at the beginning and helps build the crab. Okay, write that in your notes on line paper. All right, get out your handouts for this one. So this is where we declare or create the instance variable. So we have an empty box, image 1, image 2. This is where we assign an object to the variable. So that empty box now has a reference to a Greenfoot image object there, and this one now has a reference to a Greenfoot image object. And then right now, right here, is we're actually using the variable for the first time. So we're saying set image 1. We're actually talking to that variable. Right? This demonstrates how the name of the variable image 1 can be used now to refer to the image object stored in it. So whenever we say image 1, we're talking to, and we'll look at it next. We're talking to the guy in the box. Okay, so here's what it looks like. All right, so whenever we say Greenfoot image 1, we create empty boxes, right? So we declared the variables, but they're empty. So then when we say image 1 equals new Greenfoot image, we create a Greenfoot image object. We don't see this guy, but he lives in the RAM somewhere, but we can ask him to do stuff and he'll do it, right? And we create a reference. So there's like, oh, look. So when we talk to image 1, we're actually talking to this guy. When we're talking to image 2, we're actually talking to this guy. So they don't actually live in the box, but it kind of works like they live in the box, right? Okay, so now we have assigned an object to these variables, okay? And then next, when we say set image 1, we say, hey, image 1, and like what? Hey, give me your image. So this guy will hand us that image of the crab.png, and then as we just saw, we actually change the image. And so now we're set to where we can actually, now we can finally get to what we were talking about. We're going to animate. We're going to say, hey, set image 1, and he'll go, and we'll say set image 2, and then we'll animate him and make it look like he's walking. Okay, so we're not doing that yet. Okay, so now finally add this constructor and code to your class. Okay, public crab, and don't forget it goes right here after private Greenfoot image 1, private Greenfoot image 2. We already have this code. Now you're going to type this code in right after that. Okay, now inspect your crab object again. What is the difference? All right, well, let's see. So now we've typed in that code. So let's come over here. So now that we've typed in this code, so if I go to Crab, you can see I typed in the code right here. Okay, so now that I've typed that code in, when I inspect him, are these things null? No, it's not null anymore. It has an arrow. Why is there an arrow there? Well, because somewhere over here living in the RAM is our Greenfoot image robot, right? There's our objects, right? They don't fit in this little box, but whenever we say image one, we still get to talk to that guy. Notice though that if it's a simple value like a number, it actually lives in there, okay? So values live in the boxes, objects live in the RAM somewhere else, but we have references to them. Okay, good. We did it. What's different about the variables now? There's little squiggly arrows in there representing that there's a reference to an object. All right, answer these questions. Hit pause and answer these. There's 3 screens, I believe. Hit pause and answer these. Hit pause and answer these. Ask me for help. And last one, I believe. Answer these. And you're done. Okay, good. Thanks, guys.